family vacation we took a number of years ago could have been one of the most deadliest and injury-ridden there was, but actually it had a happy ending. And I had a call to go to the Indians, and that was the first chance I got, and I was working. And so we went to northern Minnesota. A bunch of Christians was going to have a camp out right next to an Indian reservation. They were going to put a big tent up, and so I thought, well, that'll be a great time to go and be able to preach to the Indians. And we got at the campsite, actually just the people's front lawn is what it was, and a few people already got there, and the kids were out playing. There was a big bank there about 30 feet probably down to the beach and of this lake, and then out maybe 100 yards out in the lake there was a pontoon boat, and the big kids were diving off of it. And my kids asked if they could go, and I let my older son, who was a teenager, go, and my oldest daughter with him, but the other one wanted to go, and I said, no, wait, just till I finish setting up, and I'll take you down there to the beach. And I was setting up, and just about finishing, I heard all this screaming, heard my daughter's name mentioned, and that she was drowning. And so I took off running as fast as I could and went down this sand bank, and it had vines growing over it, and I just about got to the bottom, and my foot caught in one of those vines, and it twisted it, and I heard it snap, and I couldn't get up. I was trying to hop on one foot, and my son called out, Dad, June's okay. She's okay, I got her. And what had happened is that she had snuck off because she couldn't wait, and got into her swimming suit and went down there, and she could swim, but she swam out to the raft where the big kids were, which she had no business being there. But she tried to get up on the raft, and she, using the outboard motor, was cocked up somehow. They had it with the propeller out of the water, and she unlatched that thing somehow, and it trapped her under the pontoon boat, and her hair was caught in it, and but the big guys got her out of there. But and then everybody got out of the lake, and they were trying to help me and help me back up, and I just went and laid down. And next day they had the tent all up, and all I could do was just sit there in a chair with my foot up. It was all swollen and it's turning black, and I iced it, and nothing seemed to help. People came and prayed for me, but it didn't work. And so I was going to, the next day it started to rain, and everybody was confined. I just stayed in bed all day, and my foot never did. Just the weight of a bed sheet would be excruciating pain to it. And that night it rained, and it rained, and it rained all day long. The rain even ran in under the tent. Tent didn't leak, but the floor was all muddy, and I decided to go. A few people went, and a lot of them went home, and some of them didn't even come out to the meeting. It was raining so hard. We got over there by the use of a lawn chair as a crutch, and I got to the tent, and I sat down, cocked my leg up, and a couple, three people were there with guitars, and it was probably a dozen or more people, and one car pulled in. And it was a native couple with one unsaved lady that they brought to the tent meeting, which wasn't much of a tent meeting the first day. And they started singing, and I was just miserable there. I couldn't hardly enter into the worship. And three of the brothers, if I remember right, got up and came over to start to pray for me, and two of them, I remember, kneeled down right on that muddy floor and grabbed me up my leg that was elevated in a chair and started praying, and the power of God hit me, and it was instantly healed. I got up and started jumping, and that native's eyes got big, you know, and she was wondering how could that happen, that great big foot like that. Couldn't put a shoe on it or anything. And I was jumping in up and down and hollering and praising God, and then I started to preach. And don't remember what I said, but I know that we all went home happy, and I didn't have any pain left at all. And I'm sure they were the happiest ones of all, those that brought that lady. But that was my first episode of praying and God says, you know, His word, all things work together for good for those that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. So even though it could have been a tragedy, it all worked out. It all worked out fine.